Hello and welcome. I'm Steve Tingay from mashme, and this is the mashme webinar series. Today we'll be looking at Mentimeter, the exciting interactive presentation software which integrates into the mashme collaboration space and allows content to be referenced directly via the mashme shared memory. There are several ways to interact with Mentimeter, and I'm going to show you a few simple options when presenting to a hybrid training room. More complex options will follow in later webinars. For today's scenario, we'll consider the concept of a hybrid training room, with several students physically in the room and several students connected virtually to the mashme video wall. The presenter will be in the physical room, but this also works well when they're remote. The true challenge is keeping both the virtual and the physical participants engaged, and this is where mashme and Mentimeter can enhance their experience. For those already familiar with Mentimeter, we'll be looking at how the integration to mashme works. If you aren't familiar with Mentimeter, then you can go to mentimeter.com and sign up for a free user account. If you require additional functionality, then there are paid for options available, but I suggest you look through Mentimeter and explore those options. I created a free account, so I'm going to log in with that now. So we have here. Here we go. At the moment, there's no presentations created in here, so we'll be creating one in due course. Just looking on the left-hand side here, we have a couple of options. Templates has a lot of predefined templates available. We have recommendations, for example, business meetings, education, quizzes, icebreakers, polls, surveys, fun and games. And under each of these sections, you can expand out to see a lot more templates that are available. So again, here are just a few under one of those headings that you can choose from. Literally hundreds available in here. You also have options for branding and colors to make it, really fit your environment. We're going to start by going to My Presentations. And our plan now is to create a simple one-slide presentation within Mentimeter that we can then take across to mashme. Once we have this within mashme, you'll have everything on the mashme side and you won't need to come back to Mentimeter to manage the presentation. So let's start with going from scratch. I really like using these word cloud options. They're just fun and informative and colorful, and it's just a good way to get information out from students. So let's choose word cloud. And we need a question. Now, my family keeps saying they want to get a new puppy. So how about naming our puppy? What shall we call our new puppy? I'm going to give 5 entries per participant because I'm the only one that's going to be voting in this. So it will give me the ability to add in several names. And I'm going to allow myself to participate and submit multiple times. So we have the first section here. To get this into mashme, we're going to go to share. Okay, you need to make sure that it's the selection anyone with the link code or QR can vote. That way it makes it open for anybody once they've got the information. I'm going to start by downloading the QR code. We'll come back to this later, but I just want to put that on my computer ready for later. Okay, and then we can close that off. This will all become apparent shortly. So here we have 3 different ways for participants to be able to interact with the presentation. We'll take all of these across and then explain them in due course. The temporary voting code that we have here, and I'm just going to expand that out. Temporary voting code will allow us to use a short code of menti.com plus that number. The code is valid for 2 days, 7 days, or with a paid for subscription, 14 days. It's important to choose the right one, especially if you're preparing this presentation several days in advance of actually giving it out to the students. But for now, I'm going to stick with 2 days because that's easy. I'm going to take the voting code here and put it in my clipboard. And now I'm going to hop along to mashme and go to the room chat section. Okay, currently this is empty, ready to go. And if we wanted to type in here www.menti.com mentimeter.com and then leave this code afterwards. So when the students are in the physical room, they won't be logged into the virtual software, so they won't be logged into mashme. For them to interact into the Mentimeter poll, they can go to menti.com and put in that code. There are other ways, we're going to come to those right now. We can also take this link, the voting link. I can copy that and take that to my mashme chat as well. And if I paste this in, we also have a second way. So the students can take that URL, they can copy it down from the video wall and put it into their mobile phone and join the presentation. It's quite important to make sure everybody has the chance to interact here. And sometimes it's hard to see that code, especially if you've got lots of people writing in the chat and maybe it's gone off the video wall. So you might want to hold this back until the last minute and put it in for the final point of the presentation. For our webinar today, we're just putting this into the chat so it's available for us to pull from. Okay, now I'm going to go to present, and we're going to create the resources within mashme that allow us to control this presentation. So first of all, I'm going to upload that QR code. Okay, here we go. Now the QR code can be opened and the people in the physical room can scan that from a distance with their mobile phone, so they don't actually need those URLs or codes at all. This is really useful just to start off with and to say everybody in the physical room, please scan this and get logged in. The virtual people can do the same, but we have a better way of working within mashme to make that happen. It's also really important to note that everyone voting within Mentimeter is anonymous. So that's different to the way the mashme polls options work, because we have open, we have blind, and we have anonymous polls in mashme. So it can be used in a different format. While we're here, we're going to create two more resources. Okay, first of all, we are going to have the question links. So what shall we call our new puppy? And I'm going to paste this link from my clipboard that we took earlier into here. Okay, this is how the question will look when we get to start it properly. I'm going to go back to Mentimeter, grab the presentation or results link and copy that as well. Back to mashme, and we're going to create Mentimeter, and it's going to be results, and we're going to put something like my new puppy name suggestions. And paste that link in there. Okay, now we have everything we need to get going with this. So in terms of a process, you have people in the physical room you want to get engaged in here. You can either go back to the room chats and show them the room chat, say, log in with this code, or you can just open the QR code on the screen, ask them to scan it, and away they go. Okay, for anybody who's remote, I'm just going to bring in a virtual student interface as well. So this is how the virtual student interface looks. We don't have any videos connected on this one at the moment, but they would be there in a normal mashme session. But what we will do is we'll close down the QR code, and instead we're going to ask the question from here within mashme, and we're going to unlock the application for collaboration mode. If I bring my student back in, you can now see that they have the question directly in mashme. So if you've been running a PowerPoint presentation, some YouTube videos, and maybe some other polls, some breakout rooms, and everything is within mashme, you've got everybody engaged in that location, then you can open the questions directly there. Okay, so I'm going to put some names in just to populate this. And let's see some good names. We can go with Bruno, Bourneville, Jesse, Simba, Cleo, Lexi, Houdini, Bluey, Shadow, Sherlock, Annie, Ned, Nelly. That's probably enough for now. So submit. As you can see, I've been able to submit 3 times. I could do more and more, but the reason I set it to be able to submit multiple entries was to allow me to put lots in there. So let me just move that student back out of the way again. I can close the questions down. And now, from within mashme, without having to leave or go to Mentimeter or anywhere else, as the presenter, I can open the results onto the video wall. Okay, so slowly all of those names will populate up there. Now everyone in the virtual room and in the physical room can see that because it's on the video wall and it's being shown to the remote people. Okay, I'm just going to close that down again. The nice thing with mashme is we can store these resources in the room. At the moment, all 3 of these have an eye and a line through it. If I click on the results one and unhide that, that now becomes visible. So I'm going to bring my student back in. Here he is. So you can see that that resource, the results, is visible within the mashme room. If I click the download, it will open a new tab and Mentimeter will show the results directly for that student. So it means the student can come back later in the day, tomorrow, and still see what those results were. Okay, let's kind of move him back out the way. Back into Mentimeter, and you can see all the results are here in Mentimeter as well. And you have options to duplicate, copy to another presentation, reset results, export the content, etc. As I said, there are more complex ways of creating presentations with Mentimeter, and we will do that in our next webinars. Meanwhile, if you have any questions or you want to do more research on mashme, you can go to our website, mashme.io, or you can go to our help portal, help.mashme.io, where you can see several solutions, system status, ticket updates, trending articles, and knowledge base, etc. If you'd like any additional information, please feel free to contact us on sales@syncartc.com or to our customer success team on csm@syncartc.com. Many thanks for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you.